Hey guys, welcome to another episode of StuTube. It is October the 18th. Today I am going to be taking a look at my overall macro view on the market currently, and as well I'm going to take a look at this trade that I took the other day and go into why I took it and how it's sitting right now and how I'm going to play it from here. If you guys think that sounds interesting, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and with that, let's get it. Alright guys, I'm going to start by looking at my Bitstamp chart, and this will be my daily candles, and I'm going to look at a couple potentially bullish indications here. One thing that you'll notice is I made this horizontal green trend line, and that's kind of the support zone for this whole trading range that we had up here where we temporarily topped out. And you can see here that as we treated it as support, we broke below and got that resist flip, but we're still finding support along an upward sloping trend line here, and I'm going to show you something interesting with that too. But you can see now that even the last few days here, we're perfectly respecting this support flip once again, and that's something very bullish in my opinion, especially when you guys know that in a previous video I had pointed this out, these moving averages, and I said that I think it was actually on the 4-hour, but I had the 21 bar crossing the 50. So this is a 21-day moving average, is this yellow one, crossing bullishly over the orange one, which is the 50-day, and we are above the 200-day moving average there. So all that is looking primed for a juicy pump in my opinion. Another interesting thing here that I just noticed, if I want to make a perfect parallel channel here to this kind of support line that we've been holding just recently here, if I extend that to our tops along this whole uptrend here, that's a perfect channel, guys. Look how good we are just bouncing resist, support, and it would only make sense now, in my opinion, if this channel is going to hold true. Even if we do trade sideways or even down a little bit and test it again, I think it's only a matter of time until we have a bit of a pump and reach the upside. And especially with, we have created a higher high from here. We are now trading above it, testing it as support there. Even let's just take a Fibonacci extension here. Let's just say from even here up to here. It would make perfect sense for us to test the 618. So if we start breaking up here, then we're getting closer to 12,000. And you guys know that in a triangle that broke out from this most recent pump here, I did have a target of about 12.5 thousand, guys. So that would make sense as well to test this red resistance from where we actually topped out in this range. So it would make a lot of sense to at least test the 12.5K range again. Not that it has to happen, and of course none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. I'm just pointing out what I'm looking at in the market and how I'm looking to speculate and hopefully make a little bit of profit here, guys. If we start getting closes above this 12.5K, I think that's where things are going to get really interesting, guys, because our Fibonacci extensions are just going to start extending and that sort of stuff. So we're going to start setting higher highs and then higher highs, and hopefully we can just keep staircasing up. Here I'm just going to zoom out onto the weekly chart here and show you what I mean with these Fibonacci's stacking up. So let's say we do end up breaking above this, the bottom of this red box here, and it ends up sending us above this high at around 14,000. Let's just take a Fibonacci extension from where we bottomed out in our most recent bear market to where we topped out at 14K. Let's just take a look at some targets here, guys. We're looking at an extension would make sense to the 1382 as well as the 1618, right, guys? So we're looking at targets at that point of closer to 18,000, and then, or sorry, not there, 18,000 here, guys. And then going to the 1618, that's where we're starting to test $20,000 again already, guys. If we start getting these big breakly weeks, weekly candles, that's where we're going to start to get those really big moves, guys. And if we end up breaking above that, that is technically a new higher high. And if we start getting candle closes above this candle here, I mean, let's just really zoom out here. Give me a second, guys. But that's where FOMO really kicks in, and let's start taking a Fibonacci pull from the bottom of the previous bear market, way back at like 180 bucks, whatever it was. Then use our next high here at well, close to 20,000, wherever we topped out there, 19.5, 19.8, whatever it is. Let's start looking at targets here, guys. That's where we start looking closer to the $27,000 and higher, over $30, $31, $32,000, guys. That's where FOMO really starts to kick in, especially with these big players getting in the market. We don't know what kind of money is going to come in here, guys. Another thing I want to point out with this 27,000, I think I've pointed this out in videos a long time ago, but if we take the measured move of this macro triangle that took 3 years to play out, if we take it from its breakout point, guys, that's a perfect measurement to that 1382 line right at $27,000. I think it's absolutely reasonable to assume that that's where this bull market is about to take us in the not too distant future. Obviously, it will take a while to play out, but we know how irrational these markets get with breakouts and stuff, especially in crypto. And it's hard to say how quick that'll happen, but I do really think that with our breakout of this triangle, I do think the market is heading to that. And if we do get that move, that's just one measured move, guys. A lot of times these big market cycles, that's just kind of the start of the new bull market, right? So that's where I know you see a lot of moon boys out there talking about 100,000, 300,000, and I know I have pointed out those numbers. I have seen patterns. You can look at my previous videos leading up to that 300,000 US dollar mark. As ridiculous as it seems, there is technicals there to back it up, and I've seen other YouTubers talk about different technicals that actually end up with that same price target. I've seen 3 different macro patterns do that. So just something to keep in mind, guys. There is going to be some big moves coming to this market in the next half year to a year, in my opinion, guys. All right, guys, I want to zoom into the 15-minute chart here and go back a couple days to where I had mentioned that I took this trade. I had talked about it on Twitter. I don't think I actually posted it on my tweet, but I was actually responding to someone else's, and I did mention that this was going to be my first take profit. And I just want to show you why I took this trade. For one, I'll just make this green here, but there is this little bit of a double bottom here in the range of the wicks of that little bottom out after the sell-off here, guys. We got this little bit of a double, even a bit of a triple bottom here. Obviously, this is a short time frame, guys. But on top of this double bottom, what we also had was this bullish RSI divergence. I love seeing that from oversold to bouncing right on where it should be finding support. And on top of that, as I've pointed out in previous videos, I did have this bullish pivot point on my momentum indicator. So that was 3 things saying that there was definitely potential for a trade there. So when I got this double bottom close, I was able to get in along here around 11,270. And from there, you can see this red horizontal line is my stop loss, nice and tight stop loss. And where I started taking profits, so I did have this green downtrend line pointed out here. And then on top of that, another indication why I wanted to start taking profits where I did is if I took my pull top to bottom with the Fibonacci, you can see that this green line also matched up perfectly with the 382 potential rejection point. And so that's where I wanted to start taking in profits. Normally, guys, after I did something like this, I would update my stop loss to break even, but being I just took a little bit of risk off the table and I was comfortable with my position and what I would be losing if I had got stopped out because it was such a good entry, guys, I just let the rest ride. So this wick here actually never did even wick me out. So I am actually still in my position, but I have taken more profits. Right here, guys, along this orange line, you can see I took profits just below that as my second target, and that's that 618 rejection point that I always talk about, guys. I'm always talking about that in my videos. So that's just another reason why I took second profits there. After that, guys, if I really zoom out here, you can see I had this red downward trend line drawn here, and I just hit it with my third take profit point. If you zoom in, you can see we wicked to it pretty much perfectly. And these are patterns, guys, that I'm showing on my channel over and over. And I actually even said in our little bit of a group chat, it's not one of these public ones, just between me and some friends who trade. I had mentioned that my third take profit was going to be just below this red trend line, and there you can see that that's a third part of my position taken out. I still have some in. If I drop below 11.4k, and that would be below this structure here, then I'll get stopped out of my trade, and then I'll just look for the next trade, guys. I might even re-enter immediately depending on what kind of downtrend lines I can find, because you guys know I'm extremely bullish lately on the long term, and I want to be in long positions. I'm very, I mean, I look for my indications. I like to get 2 or 3 I guess, points in my favor of why I should be in a position. And I'm also willing to take profits or update stop losses if I'm not comfortable in that sort of stuff, guys. So that's just kind of what I'm doing and how I'm looking to trade this market. Again, trading with a very heavy bullish bias. Even if I'm out of positions quick, I am favoring the bulls hard right now, and you guys know that in my previous on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter if you haven't, if you have Twitter, because I'm just kind of getting started on that, and it is easier for me to update my analysis on the market in just a quick screenshot, type what I'm thinking, and show you guys. I don't always have the time to make these videos, guys. So anyways, that's kind of my view on the market right now, guys. Hopefully you appreciated this content. From here, yeah, I'd like to see some candles. Now that we got our third touch point along this red trend line, I would like to see some candle bodies start closing above that and get a bit of a breakout. We're going to have to see what happens from here, guys. I still have a little bit of my position open, and obviously I have my holdings. I am trying to accumulate Bitcoin right now because I do think that we're in a bull market, and I'd rather take my profits in crypto and ride out the extra percentage I get while I'm holding on to that. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, guys. Obviously you guys do your own research and form your own opinions and what fits your investing or trading strategies, guys. So anyways, with that, I think I have rambled on long enough. Again, like this video if you found it interesting. Give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, guys, once again. And with that, stay safe out there, my friends. I'm out. Peace.